Douglas, thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Quite welcome.
Could you tell us a little bit about Discobed, the company, and its business in the U.S.?
Sure. Discobed was invited to take part originally in a military show up in New York. It was in 1998. The military was looking for a solution where they could send the same number of troops into a situation but cut their costs in terms of tents, air conditioning units, and when they saw the bunking system, they knew that they could double up the amount of troops in a smaller space. Discobed then won an award with the military in the year 2000, and basically started building the military relationship at that point. In 2003, our orders got to a point where we actually needed to settle a business in the US. In order to, obviously, it's taxpayers' money, the money has to be circulated within the US. There's an amendment called the Berry Amendment, which implies that all fabrics used in military applications has to be American made. So I immigrated from South Africa to the US, started the business in 2003, and basically we've taken it from there to being one of the biggest suppliers of portable cot systems for mobile troop systems abroad.
And are they actually made here in the U.S.?
Yes, they are. All fabric is made in the U.S. All assembly is done in the U.S. Steel is brought in from South Africa, but all assembly is done here at this location with transatlantic sales.
And can you talk about how transatlantic helps for a company that's trying to get a foot into the U.S. market?
Sure. It's a very difficult scenario coming from a company abroad, understanding tax abroad, not understanding American ways. It's a very fearful scenario for companies to come and just jump into the American market. Transatlantic sales gives you a very smooth transition into this market, supplying accounting packages, tax knowledge, banking knowledge, putting us into contact with people that understand we foreign-owned businesses, bringing us into the US market and letting us focus 100% on achieving sales. I think that's the biggest benefit for transatlantic sales. It takes the worry out of doing business and brings us to a point of actually focusing on what we need to and creating income.
Are the beds actually assembled here at this facility?
They are assembled at this facility, packed at this facility, and shipped out to military depots from this facility.
Are they shipped by sea or by air? Or?
From this facility to the depots, which are mostly up in the northeast, they are shipped by truck. Again, the experience with transatlantic sales and their logistics teams help us in order to get the discounts we need with truckers and lane routes to take it to these destinations, which has been totally beneficial.
If they end up in Afghanistan or Iraq, does the military ship them to those locations?
Yes, correct. Anything leaving this country on a military basis will be shipped through either their air bases or their naval bases. So they do their own shipping, in other words.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these beds are actually now in Iraq and Afghanistan?
They are indeed.
Right. Could you just kind of demonstrate the bed and some of its advantages and
Sure.
why it's good for a troop situation?
Right. The bed is made up of two different sleeping modules or sleeping systems. There's a top section to the bunk and a bottom section to the bunk. Each sleeping section has what we call a night organizer. This allows the troops to have books, personal effects right on hand while they are sleeping at night. We also have an ability to put their rifle into this sleeve, water bottles, etc. We also have underneath for their personal effects a foot locker. The foot locker allows them to have their clothes, shoes, etc. packed away underneath the system, maximizing space in the tent systems. Obviously, the reason why we have the bunkable units in the tent systems is that we have cut their tents cost in half, their air conditioning, as I mentioned before. But it is a saving method for the military to use this product. This product does not have a nut, bolt, or screw on it. It fits together by hand. You don't need tools to assemble it. It is the instruction manuals are printed on the inside of each bag, and it can take a troop, once he's done it once or twice, 5 minutes to assemble. Everything you see here, the railing systems, the bed ends, the discs, the material, fits into 3 bags, 2 inner bags and 1 outer bag. This is one of the bags that would have 1 bed assembled to it, and this is the outer bag that the military receives. It's a 2-person lift bag. It weighs approximately 100 pounds, and this is what's shipped abroad. Every component is within here, so that it has a lot. You can trace the components. Everybody knows where the product is, wherever it is in transit or in setup.